Monitoring your home lab isn't just about knowing what's online or offline. It's about understanding everything happening behind the scenes. In this video, I'll show you how I monitor my servers, track uptime, and stay on top of my logs. So if something was to break, I will be the first to know about it and not the last to find out. Now, we're going to be using many different systems in this video, so I'll leave a link in the description with instructions on how you can configure each of them. So before we get started looking at the tools that I use, it's important to understand that you need a way to get the notifications for these alerts. So I use a tool called Ntfy. You can configure it inside of Docker. And what it allows me to do is it allows me to create different topics. So you subscribe to a topic on each of your devices. And then from the other systems, you can send notifications to that topic. So what you'll see here is I just set this up to have two of them. I use it for more than this, but just for the notifications, I have server alerts and I have uptime alerts. And what you'll see is later on in the video, I configure those systems to send alerts to Ntfy. Then I have Ntfy on my mobile device and I can access it from a web browser and I can configure notifications on the web browser itself as well. And then at that point, just about immediately, as soon as something happens, I am notified, I'm aware of it. So we're going to jump right into the monitoring section. And the first thing that I want to talk about is a tool called Beszel. Now, there are going to be many different tools that you can use for this. However, I found Beszel to be the absolute easiest to set up, which overall makes it something that you can use. So you can use various other systems, but overall I found those to be a little harder to use. This, for me, is very straightforward. There's a few things that I do with this. The first thing I want to be aware of is the resources of each of my systems. So what I mean by that is CPU, memory, and disk. And you'd be surprised because as soon as I configured this, my Windows 11 virtual machine was at I think it was 88 or 89% of the disk usage. Didn't even know about it, quite honestly. It wasn't something that I was monitoring. So when you set this up, you're setting it up really to get ahead of it. And then what you could do is you could drill down into that system and you're able to see just about everything about it. So I set this up for a lot of my systems, all the ones that I really want to monitor, but it goes through and it basically allows me to configure notifications. The notifications we're going to talk about in a second, but this is the first way that I am currently monitoring all of my servers. So I have this running in an LXC container. You need somewhere to run it. Overall, it's best, in my opinion, to run it on a different system so that if I'm monitoring all of these systems, if Proxmox was to have a problem, I would be aware that there's a problem rather than running it on Proxmox itself, but it's a home lab. I'm not super worried about it. I found an LXC to be better than Docker only from the perspective that I wanted to be able to monitor that Docker server, and I didn't want to monitor the Docker server from the Docker server. That's the only reason. So I separated it out into its own LXC container, and I set it up that way. Now, with that said, there are multiple ways that you can install this. So this is a basic Docker Compose file. I will also include the Docker Compose file that I used to initially set this up in the description, but you can either run it with Docker or you can use this install script down here. And this is exactly how I configured it on that LXC container. Now, a few important things to note here. One, never run a script that you randomly find on the internet. There are risks associated with it. I accepted those risks. You don't necessarily have to. So that's the first thing to be aware of. The second thing is that Beszel runs as a hub and spoke model. So what I mean by that is the hub is this dashboard you are currently looking at. So you add a system to it, and the spokes are those client devices. So we're going to run through setting up a client device so that you can see how easy it is. But overall, you're setting up the hub in a central location, and then the spokes will be all of your client devices, which will then communicate back with the hub. So with that out of the way, this is how easy it is to set up. So we're going to add a new system here. And then at the top here, you have to determine how you want to monitor the system. So for me, I'm just going to select this binary option here. But if you were running a Docker instance somewhere, you could technically use Docker. For me, I'm going to use binary. But once the name and the IP address is configured, you can go in and copy the Linux command. Now, there's a few options here. We're going to talk through the Windows option in a second here, but this is for a Linux server. So I'm going to copy that Linux command. And after I copy the command, what I'm going to do is I SSH it into the device, and then I'm going to paste it. After that, we are going to run it. It's going to download and install the agent. We can select yes because we want to enable automatic updates. And then at that point, the agent is installed. So if we come back to Beszel, we can add that system. And what you'll see is that it is currently being monitored. That's how simple it is. That's all we had to do. We configured the hub using the instructions that I showed before, and then you add a system that way, and then you can monitor it. Now we're going to quickly do the same for Windows. So I went in, gave it a name, IP address, and then we're going to click this drop-down menu here, and we're going to select Windows command. Then inside of PowerShell, we're going to paste it. Now again, there are risks to running scripts online. We are, in essence, as you can see here, running it from the location get.bezel.dev. You should check everything to make sure you're okay with it, but this is how you can set it up. We're going to press enter here. It's going to come here. It's going to ask you if you're okay with modifying the execution policy. I am. It is going to install the dependencies that it needs, does everything it has to do, creates the firewall rule. And then if we come back here and add the system, what you will see is that it is here. And this is a great example. So this is an older server. I migrated off of it because of Windows 10. But what you could see is that the disk usage is extremely high. Now, this information is great, but what's more important is being notified if it goes through certain parameters for an extended period of time. And what I mean by that is if the CPU usage is high or the memory usage is high, or in this case, the disk usage. So what we can do is we can configure alerts. So if you click the alert button on any of these, you have two ways of doing it. You can do it by system. So this is the system we just selected, or you can modify all of your systems at the same time. And this will, in essence, overwrite everything. So let's look at how I currently have it set up. So right here, this is the parameters that I have configured. And in essence, what we're saying is if the average exceeds this number for this period of time, to notify me. How do I get notified? I get notified by the notification settings here. And what you'll see here is that I'm using a webhook. So this is how simple it is to use Ntfy. So I configured Ntfy. This is the only thing I had to do. I had to type in this command. I had to go in here. I had to type in the location. And then this is the topic. The topic is server alerts. So that is this topic right here. So if we go back and test this URL, you'll see that we received a new alert. So I just configured alerts for Windows 10, and what you'll see is we now have an active alerts section here, but inside of Ntfy, I received an alert as well. So that is how I'm alerted on my servers. I find Beszel to be the easiest. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you have to use. Now with Beszel, there is a little bit of overlap, but I like to use Uptime Kuma because while I can monitor it using Beszel, I find that Uptime Kuma works a little better and it's just easier to manage. So Uptime Kuma is a Docker container that you can use, and this is the Docker Compose file that I will leave in the description. But after you set it up, you are brought to this dashboard here. And what you can do is you can configure monitors, and there are a bunch of different options here, and this is really where it starts to be different than Beszel. Beszel can basically monitor a server, and you can monitor a server with Uptime Kuma as well, but you have a lot more options with this. So you set up the monitor type, you set up where it should monitor, how long it should monitor, how many tries it should have before it determines the system is down, and then you can configure notifications. So what you'll see here is I have that Ntfy server. And in specific for Ntfy, what you'll see is that we're sending it to a different topic. That topic is Uptime Alerts. So in Ntfy, if you select Uptime Alerts, this is where Uptime Kuma will send its alerts. Now you could use the exact same topic if you'd like. I like to separate them out, but you could do it however you'd like. So I shut down one of my servers. So 20 seconds is the heartbeat interval, 5 retries. So what we should see is in a second here, the NTP server should report as offline. And there you go. So now it reported as offline. But if we check inside of Ntfy, you will see that we received the alert there as well. Everything is working as expected. So that's how I monitor my servers and my uptime. For all of my systems, I monitor just about everything that I possibly can. Now that's the first half of this video. The second half of this video is going to be around logging. Logging is a boring topic, but overall it's extremely important. So every single one of your systems, generally has logs. The way you can view those logs differs, but if you can get to that data, it makes troubleshooting extremely simple. So there are many ways that you can do it, and we're going to talk through a few of those. I would say that the server and uptime monitoring is more important, but that does not mean that this is not important. It's just going to be a little harder to use, but we'll talk through it as we go on. So the first thing we're going to look at is a tool called Dozzle. Dozzle is for Docker logging. Dozzle is extremely easy to set up. So this is a Docker Compose file. Overall, I'm monitoring this Docker instance as well as one remote instance as well where I have Docker running. But Dozzle allows me to drill into specific containers and determine if there are any problems with it. Overall, something that you're not going to use that frequently, but it is something that can help you troubleshoot problems if you're experiencing any. And what I like about it the most is that I'm able to look at all of my containers and their logs at the same time. So I don't have to go into each of them and look at them that way. I have one view that I can kind of monitor everything. But Dozzle only monitors Docker. So what if you wanted to monitor your other systems, like your network, for example? I used to use Synology's Log Center, and there's this log receiving section here, and you can basically create exactly what you want to receive, and then you'll be able to display it in the log section. And as soon as you configure it, you can then go into whatever system you want to monitor, assuming that there is a feature like this. You could type in the IP address and the port, and then it will send the logs from that system directly to that log server. Now, I used to use Synology. I recently switched to Graylog. Graylog allows me to monitor my entire network, and I'm also monitoring my TrueNAS server. I am not going to show you how to set up Graylog. I would be doing you a disservice. Tom from Lawrence Systems has an amazing video on Graylog that I will link in the description below. It's a full-length video, and you really need to understand how it works if you want to implement something like this. But Graylog is how I'm currently monitoring just about all of my logs. The goal overall, in my opinion, is to not necessarily use Graylog, but it's to use something so that you can centrally manage your logs and view them in the event that you need any of the information from it. Now, while you can monitor logs, every single one of the systems that you have, for the most part, will have some sort of a notification system built in. And you should always, in my opinion, configure those notifications so that you're aware exactly if and when something goes wrong. With this approach, you have multiple layers of notifications. So you have your notifications for your servers, your uptime, potentially logging, as well as the systems themselves. And overall, for the most part, if something goes wrong, you should be notified from one of those, possibly even multiple. So that's how I monitor my home lab, from system performance to uptime and logs. You might not need every system in this video, but I found that each of them provides value in their own way. And while there might be a little overlap, you can tune each of them to minimize that. Again, there are links in the description for just about everything we went over today. But other than that, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments. And if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.